Bless and love, my lords. Welcome to another Red Lion interview. Live interview powered by Red Lion. I'm joined here today, as every week, by our co-host Dudley, the co-founder of the project. Hey, Dudley, what's up?
Hey, everyone, welcome to the show, guys. You tell me what's up.
All right, we have the pleasure this day to have BBA with us, one of the sweetest guys I met in Paris. How's it going?
Hey man, good to be here. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks since we met, and I still think you are the sweetest guy in the NFT space. But yeah, thanks. I take that as a compliment.
Thank you. Likewise, man. What an incredible time we had in Paris. So just to give you guys some context, I was just arriving at it wasn't a punk brunch, it was like a punk meetup, like coffee or something. And I arrived there. I didn't know anybody. I sit on the corner, and then this gentleman shows up, and we introduced, and he knew who I was, but I couldn't remember exactly who he was, and we hit it off really big time. We went to the NFT factory. It was an incredible experience. So I'm very happy to have you on the show, and the show is different after knowing the person is in real life, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I knew you from, so I recognize you because of your T-shirt, and I knew you from the Red Lion Gazette. So yeah. Actually, I already knew you before actually meeting you in person. But the thing is, I didn't interact so much with your content. But yeah, that was the perfect occasion. This punks meetup, which was great, by the way.
Yes, it was very good. I'm very curious to see how it will be in New York, if the vibes translate on the other side of the pond. We will see.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess the punks were coming from all over the world, so I guess it will be mainly the same person, different place. So yeah, I'm not too afraid about the vibes.
Let's start where we always start, and give us a little bit of TLDR about yourself and your story. How did you buy your first punk, and what is your punk story?
Sure. So I joined the NFT space beginning of 2021 when it started to get exposure. The real story is that actually I was in NFT before because I got some CryptoKitties from the very early days. Today there was zero for some reason, even though they were like the very first ones. But yeah, I came back when it started to get some exposure, and at the time when I joined, so I started with art blocks. But punks were like the goal for every participant in the space. But at the time, it was too expensive. I don't know what the floor was, but it was maybe 15 or between 15 and 20. And the thing is, I was really looking up to some punks like Punk 4156, who created the digital identity around a punk with a lot of success. Since then, he sold, but yeah, for me, it's still one of the great example of building a digital identity. And so yeah, I started with an ape because ape were the new thing and were much more affordable. And do you want me to continue on the ape story, or do you want me to focus on the punks?
Yeah, the punks mostly. Yeah, we will get into the apes too. But
sure.
You can talk about the apes too. I'm not.
It's fine. Maybe I can continue later. But
yeah.
But basically, yeah, I already own a punk for quite some time that I co-owned with a colleague, and the thing is, so I I became a father a few months ago, and so right now, most of my, I would say my wealth is in either crypto or NFTs, and I don't own I don't have much physical possession. So I thought, what makes sense for her is to buy her a punk, and she will get access to it when she will be 18, when she will be an adult. And so that's my punk story. So I try to find a punk that hopefully will look a bit like her in the future. And so it's punk 1924.
1924. So you bought a punk for your daughter, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you hope she will look like her in the future. Let me check. All right. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, in any way, I feel like it's a nice, for sure, it's a nice gift, but also a way to show my conviction into NFTs. Because I know some people, they buy. They put some money on a bank account for the kid, or they buy some I don't know, physical things like jewelry or something. But for me, as a participant in the space, what really made sense was to buy her a punk. So yeah.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I think it will age better than the jewelry or some bullshit like that.
Hopefully, at least I'm convinced by it. But at least it's a nice story, I guess.
If my punks bought me a punk when I was born, I would still have the punk, but I don't have like the jewelry that bought me as a baby.
Yeah, most likely. If you make sure to not lose the key to the hardware wallet, I think it's much more sustainable. Yeah, because you can lose jewelry, it can be stolen. Hopefully, a punk is is a bit more secure.
And did you do that as soon as you just started with NFTs? Did you get the punk for her when you got into the space?
No. Actually, my daughter is very young. She's 3 months old.
You said
So
a few months ago, yeah.
Yeah. So I bought the punk before she was born. But not. It was not the first thing I did. Yeah.
I see. All right. And since then, man, like you also started an incredible. You helped co-found an incredible project, also, World of Women. And how did you get into that? And like, how did that start?
Basically it started a bit after the apes were released, and so we met with a group of friends, and we realized that actually there was not much diversity in the trades, and not much female representation. And what's funny is that it's the same for punks. I don't have the numbers in mind. But there's a lot less female punks than male punks. So we said, maybe there's something to do here, because for me, and this started with my ape. When you join the NFT space, especially if you want to remain anonymous, it's very important that you find an identity that you can, like a PFP that you can identify with. And so there was no female PFPs. So this is why we decided to launch World of Women, and the rest is history.
So that was the original idea, and Bored Ape Yacht Club had just launched, right?
It launched in May, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and World of Women was released in July. The same year.
So 2 months later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Super early, man. Like that was the fucking time to launch a project.
Yeah, I mean, it's. We really felt that something was lacking in the space, and it's because Web3 is something that that's great for a lot of reasons, because it can give financial freedom for people. It can it's a new way of uh, of evolving it's a new internet basically. And what we didn't want, but it's still the case today, is that it's the same that Web 2.0, because where it's male dominated, where women struggle to find a place. And so we thought that was a good opportunity to try to rebalance things, because the Web3 space is still very new, and I believe we still have the opportunity to shape it the way we want. And there are some other projects in this direction. For example, the memes by 6529. It's the goal is for the participants of the space, who believe in their values and ethos, to shape it the way that we want, and so it stays beautiful, I would say.
100%, man. We, the community, are responsible for the evolution of the space, not the people who come and put the money in the advertisements and tell you what should be done. The community and the people who actually are here every day help shape it up, and I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. You
The
know,
way the space is evolving. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I read earlier today that so one of the things that was a bit one of the fear was that a big corporation like Facebook and Google, the GAFA, will take over the space. But it's quite funny to hear that Facebook actually stopped their NFT project. Like I think it was earlier today or yesterday. And so you realize that they weren't here for the value of the space, but they just saw that as a financial opportunity. And yeah, it's good to.
And it is also a financial opportunity, and it has led to financial freedom for a lot of people. But like there is a way and an elegance on doing things, and yeah, it seems to be evolving in the space, I would say. The space feels a little bit immature, but my hopes are that it will eventually, turn excellent, like YouTube, in a way.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so I'm not part of the people who think the GAFA, I mean, the big companies are not welcome, but it's just that we, as I mean, the early participant, as we should be like maybe guardians of the space, and especially the values. Yeah.
Yeah, man, for sure. The space is evolving, and I think it's like in a little bit of an immature phase. Like I've been repeating that a lot, but I think it's true. Like early YouTube, when it was only fart videos and fails and stuff like that. Quality content had no place there, but it evolved, and now it's the main thing. And the same thing is happening with NFTs, in my opinion. One question.
For sure. It's we saw that with every time it's pumping and there's a bull market. Quite rapidly, you see a lot of either scams or like low quality projects who see that as an opportunity. But I feel like in long term, it will the space will clean itself and will become more mature. Yeah, for sure.
The cream will rise to the top.
Yeah.
It's also our long-term bet here at Red Lion. But you mentioned that you felt that women were underrepresented in the space, and well, I actually agree. that this is true. In another sense, women are not the dominant demographics for that are interested in emerging technologies and like NFTs and like crypto art and all of that. Do you think that maybe we should be creating more like infrastructure and relevant content and projects to them to get them to get in? Because like it's not that they are only underrepresented, it's also that there's not a lot of interesting stuff around for them.
Yeah, I do not necessarily agree, because the thing is, for example, you can see like there are less women in tech jobs, for example. Like there are less women being programmers, let's say. And so you could ask yourself, is it because they are not interested in programming? But I believe it's mostly because those space, those are not welcoming for them. And it's mainly that. I don't think it's the lack of content or project or whatever. It's just that it's not welcoming for them. You sometimes you can see on some posts that some guys are still very misogynist, I would say, and it's something that that I think doesn't belong.
Maybe not misogynistic. Maybe there's a little bit more toxic masculinity than there should be.
Yeah, sure. The word was probably not the right one, but yeah, at least toxic masculinity. I think that's totally true. Yeah, for sure.
Oh well, I think you're right. There should be more stuff, and the space should be more welcoming. But at the same time, maybe a few more projects that are like aiming at women as their demographics could also help spread the message and get women more interested.
Yeah, sure. That was one of the goals with WoW, for sure.
I really enjoyed World of Women launch, and sometimes I went to the server. We had some collaborations with their members, and I really liked the vibes on the server. They had like their book clubs and stuff. I thought it was really, really cool, man.
Yeah. I think so. I think the book club was launched by Kashfi, who is listening right now. But yeah, we managed to create like a safe space, and I think what I believe is one of the best community in the space, which is not easy those days, because the market is quite hard. And so yeah, it's something that we did well, yeah, for sure.
It is a brutal market, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just a precision. So I co-founded WoW, but I'm currently taking a step back. So I'm not currently following the day to day. But yeah, still I believe it's it's a project I'm very proud of. Yeah, for sure. And the community is amazing. Yeah.
100%.
But the market is wide, and sometimes you have great communities, great projects who gets destroyed by the market, because when the floor goes down and when people lose money, it's hard to to be there for the community. But I think the project that managed to do it will be very strong in the future.
So you said you are not participating anymore on the day-to-day. Are you getting ready to do something new, launch a new album on your solo career?
No, I don't want to give details yet because it's still being discussed. But yeah, I let you know. Maybe we do another interview when this happens.
All right, fantastic. Well, you can blame me for trying to get the scoop there.
Sure.
um, well, do you have any artists that you have been collecting since you started and that you admire and that have inspired you in your journey?
Yeah, the answer is quite easy to this one. For me, it's been XCOPY. Yeah, that's why I've been following you for quite some time. So yeah, basically, when I joined the space, XCOPY was already quite big. I mean, there were a lot less artists than today, but XCOPY was already quite big, and also I immediately fell in love with his style, with his pieces, and yeah, I think it's the first expensive NFT I bought was an XCOPY, was the Afterburn. Because what's funny is when I joined the space, is the drop was happening on Nifty Gateway, and I think it was like $800. And I said, yeah, no way, that's too expensive, and it doesn't make sense because I wasn't. I was still, for me, it was still the beginning, and I was still not convinced to put that much money. And in retrospect, yeah, it was quite cheap. And but yeah, for me, it would have been. It's definitely XCOPY, and the thing since what I learned, thanks to you also, is that yeah, he's been an artist for 1 decade, maybe more, and he was very early in crypto art. And the thing is that he's still keeping his values. You know, he didn't. Yeah, he's still true to his value, I would say, and this made me love.
He's keeping it real.
Yeah, keeping it real. So made me even more of a fan in the past since then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is where X won me as a fan forever. Like the way he kept true to like his principles, the Web3 ethos, and the way he's advancing his career. I find it very, very beautiful also. And yeah, I'm also inspired by this. I remember in 2020 in March, I was into NFTs for like 2 months. Basically, I was just a little noob who was browsing all the NFTs, trying to understand what the fuck are these things and what is going on. There weren't as many NFTs back then, you know, and I started diving into crypto art, and I found XCOPY, and his pieces were not selling for a lot, but at the time it was a lot of money, like 2 to 4 ETH was like $800. So it was like a huge sale, you know. $1,000 was a huge sale, you know. Like people were losing their minds for a 2K sale. If it happened.
Yeah.
Back then it wasn't happening, you know. And I was explaining NFTs to an artist friend of mine, and I wanted to show him like really good artists. And I was like, oh, this is my favorite. He's really good. This is XCOPY. And yeah, then he started dropping with Nifty Gateway later on. And I was super pissed because like all those guys were getting from like trad art into Nifty Gateway. They would make a drop and they would make like millions. And when XCOPY was dropping, it wasn't like a huge thing, you know. Well, later
Oh
on,
yeah.
it became, but you know, I was really, really pissed at the time. I remember that, and yeah, then his career took off. But when I found him and I was telling my friend about XCOPY, I also didn't know how OG he was. You know, like for me, it was just like a super cool style at the time.
Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't know that he wasn't very popular on FT Gateway at the beginning. That's interesting because right now I feel like it's so in the NFT space, it's quite the opposite. It's like um, I would say the native artists who are doing big numbers or who are very successful, and the artists, some artists that are coming from the traditional art space, they struggle a bit more, and that's quite funny to see how we shifted. And but yeah, with XCOPY, I think we already had this discussion when we met, but there are some other artists who I respect a lot as well, but I don't really like the style, and so I didn't really connect, and I didn't purchase or start to collect, even though they were like very early in the space and considered also as an OG artist. But yeah, XCOPY for me it was both. It is an OG artist in the space, but also I really really love his style. So for me it was. Yeah, I'm a fan. Yeah, we
Which
could
was
say.
the article? Was it about the lost X copies?
Yes. Yeah. I think it
Man,
was.
when I was putting this article out, you know, like a lot of people are telling me, "Oh, read that article about lost X copies." When I was putting it out, my friends were making fun of me. You know, they were making fun, like, "Oh, Red, you will never get those X copies named lost X copies," and like, if that is your goal, and you know, they were not so expensive also to buy. And they were considered like, you know, like old NFTs that don't have value, something like that, forgotten or obscure. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is quite funny, but it's hard to. You never know. But the thing is, what's interesting. Um, what's quite interesting is that you mentioned that when the XCOPY was selling for like 2 or 4 ETH, it was a lot of money. But I feel like it's today it's the same. You know, I really admire the people who are able to have so much conviction in the early days to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to put like the equivalent of $8,000 into a JPEG on the internet, and I mean it's always expensive, you know. You always need to have conviction in the, even if it's a new artist, and if the piece are selling for, I don't know, for $200, you always need to have some kind of conviction, and I feel like that's quite interesting, you know, because right now maybe XCOPY at the current price, maybe they're cheap, you know. You have some 2020 edition at 20 ETH. Maybe that will be considered super cheap in the future, but it still require conviction to press the buy button. So
100%, man. It was always difficult. I wish I had more. I wish I had more conviction than I had. But like, I was trying to make money to live. You know, I was trying to create like some money for myself. I wasn't
yeah,
doing
for
very
sure.
well at the time. And
The,
you know, nobody understood that the market would explode by the end of the year. It was always like, you know, NFTs never pump, or an NFT would drop, it would pump for like a couple of days or a week, and then, you know, that's it, it's gone.
yeah. Yeah, sure. I also have a lot of respect for the people who were in the space for many years, where, like, yeah, as you said, big sale was $2,000. I mean, they were just here for the art or because they believed in NFTs, and that's very impressive and respectful, I would say.
How did you enjoy NFT Party? What was like some of the highlights for you? And did this conference make you feel more bullish on the NFTs? Like seeing the human factor behind the avatars?
I mean, it's so the conference itself. I think it was okay, but what's quite nice is that they had an amazing spot in Paris, so le Petit Palais ou le Grand Palais éphémère. So it's huge, and I believe it brought a lot of visibility for the space, at least regarding the French media, government. I know that the first wife was visited the conference, so that's great. And then what I like is always to see that even though the market is sometimes shitty, and I feel like every conference the NFT market is is even worse. The vibe are still great, and I mean, the only thing, if I'm being honest, is I wonder. So we met for the first time, but you also meet a lot of familiar faces. So I just wonder if newcomers to the space are coming to those events, because I mean, for it to live long term, we need new people to join, and it's just that I wonder if the people that are enjoying those events are the people who've been there for quite some time and who are maybe in a comfortable situation. But I feel like maybe some I didn't really see a lot of new face, if I'm being honest. That's
So you would say your constructive criticism would be that they didn't sort of like bring new interest, new people into it. It was mostly that the people who would go there anyways, right?
So for the conference, no, I mean, there was a lot of people, and I think a lot of people maybe that weren't in NFTs and who were maybe just curious because it's to
they
discover.
Gave a lot of free tickets.
Yeah. And this was, I think this was a huge win.
Yes,
this was
I
amazing.
Agree.
Yeah, this was a huge win. I was more talking about the
side events.
The side events where most of the time you meet the same people. But again, I might be biased, but that's just that. What's funny is that for sure we know for a fact that sometimes people are leaving the NFT space, because if today you join, let's say you joined at the top in 2021, you bought at the top, and now you potentially lost a lot of money. It's hard to sometimes it's hard to enjoy the vibes, so that's just my only maybe concern, I would say. we need, I think the space need to find ways to onboard new people, even though the market is not great, because at some point, a lot of people joined because it was everything was going up. It was when everything goes up, the vibes are good for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. But then it is difficult. But I think you are right also. But it's still a new thing. A lot of people came in first contact for the first time ever through this conference. A lot of people were interested just seeing us on the street, and they were like, "What is going on here?" Um,
Yeah, and I think that's super positive because so the funny thing is I never told my friend or family to invest into NFTs or to say, okay, oh yeah, you should go into Web3. But you should. But I tell you, I tell them it's like criminal to not be curious about Web3 and NFTs because it's something that for sure you have to do. You still have to do a lot of research. Still takes a lot of time because it's to know the codes of the space or just to not be scammed, I would say, because it's still the wild west, I would say. But yeah, I recommend I recommend everyone to get interested because I'm 100% convinced it's here to stay. So yeah, maybe in a different form, maybe not with the crazy numbers that we saw in the past, with the crazy sales and crazy money. But I think in terms of the potential to change the society, I think it's here to stay, yeah, for sure.
It's a game changer, man, for sure. Thanks to all the people listening. Very happy to see you guys. Big shout out to everyone, Actual Punks, Actual 3D Punks, the Zultor, Amal, Nico Baiko, Kashvi, Mitch, all of you guys, legends. If you have any questions or you would like to join the conversation, just raise your hand and we will pass on the mic to you. So yeah, let me get back into it. Man, Paris for me was incredible. Like as a first person experience, it was like non-stop partying and
Oh,
going
really? It
from
was your
place to
first?
place. Yeah, it was my first. So I was like, just joining events, and like at some point we even went to the conference the final day just for a little bit, but it was like, highlight after highlight.
Yeah.
I didn't feel bad a single moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, yeah, the vibes are very energizing, I would say. I mean, yeah, and then you have to rest for 1 week because you are that tired. But yeah,
That
I
was
understand
exactly what happened to me.
yeah, for sure,
I
I
was
understand
sleeping for 3 days. Yeah.
yeah, of course, I understand the feeling. But
Are
yeah,
you
I
going
mean,
to be in New York now?
probably not.
Oh,
It's in April, right?
yeah, it's in a month. Less than a
Yeah,
month
yeah,
now.
yeah. Probably not. I'll probably skip this one, or probably stick to the one in Europe for quite some time because the little punk owner need some care.
Yes, that little punk. But are you going to Lisbon? Which ones are you going?
Yeah, Lisbon, I will be there, 100%.
All right, I will try to make it also there. Me and Dudley, actually, I should say, Dudley and I are trying to hit as many as we can this year. We are also putting a tiny little cute event in New York City.
Oh, cool. That might be a reason for me to come.
Yes, I wanted to invite you. It's going to be so cool.
There's gonna be a lot of space to actually share.
Yeah,
Oh, really? Wow.
Dudley stressing me out. He's like, "Red, are you sure we can feel it?" I'm like, "Our friends will feel it, not us."
Wow.
But
Yeah,
it's
sure.
gonna be fun. It's
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
have to
fun,
tell me
man.
more about it, but yeah, I will probably skip this one.
I know. It's I booked the hotel, I booked my tickets, I booked everything. Now I need just to do my ESTA, and I just searched that I have to be vaccinated to get there. So I booked a quick appointment to get the vax.
Oh, okay. I know it
In
was the case.
2023, man, like I almost fucking escaped it, you know.
Yeah, I knew it was the case when I went last year, but I didn't know you still had to do it.
I really don't want to do it. I'm still trying to find a a Greek way around it, but I don't think I will.
Yeah, I don't think you are able to negotiate with the US government.
Yeah, no, not the US government. It's the Greek government.
Oh, okay.
To get the shot, I have to do it. Yeah, but it's okay. I will do it. Man, this has been amazing chatting with you. Do you have any closing statements before we go? Anything you would like to touch upon?
No, not really. I just wanted to thank you for the invite. When we chatted about that, I had like no expectation, but this was really fun. So yeah, thanks. And you have to next time we meet, you have to tell me your punk story, because I don't think you told me. But maybe you told it already, so you don't want to tell it here. But yeah,
listen to the punkcast. Listen to the punkcast.
Okay.
I gave an interview there, so I explained my story there. Shout out also to punkcast guys. If you don't know it, it's an amazing podcast with punks as guests and dives in depth. It's like a quality conversation with punks. I think it's really nice. So yeah, man,
Okay,
listen
sure.
there if you are curious also.
Yeah, and at worst case scenario, I see you in Lisbon.
Yeah, well, we are going to try to do that event now in New York, as we said. We are trying to get a couple of names involved in it. I won't give spoilers or announce something that is not for sure, but it's really exciting. And then with one of them, we might do something again on Lisbon. We will see. It's really cool. So all day today, I was running, getting stuff about this. So this is why I was late, and I'm so sorry, man, about that.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I just saw your message. I hope you're fine, actually, because I hope you're doing good. But yeah, for me, today I had some time, so it was okay.
Fantastic. It was a busy day when I went to the hardware shop. I bought the foam, Dudley. We are going to have. Is it better? I already applied it. How is my echo now?
Oh,
it's great.
Phone. Okay, foam. You applied the foam already.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. No,
I just didn't have time. One of the reasons we were also late is because I disconnected my Starlink. Starlink sent me a new router, but it didn't send any cables, and I disconnected to connect it. And I left somewhere the old one, and I couldn't find it for 1 fucking hour, man. Like I was about to break my head, and it was just on the table in a weird angle, as always. Stressful day,
Stressful day, but yeah, we made it happen. So I'm glad. I'm glad, actually. But yeah, it worked.
Well, I'm looking forward to Lisbon now to meet you again. To Dudley, you should definitely meet BBA.
all right. Yeah.
We didn't met right in Paris. Were you?
No, he didn't come.
I wasn't there, but yeah, sadly.
He he had to stay back for husband duties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to get a baby. All right, man. So thank you so much for joining us. It's wonderful chatting with you. We will have you back again later on this year before you launch your new project, and you can share more. Right now, guys, we have the Gazette is up and minting no point one per edition. It's an instant classic, I would say. Dudley and Amal produced another masterpiece, and also comes with a beautiful art drop this week by Junkyard, an amazing artist, guys. We will also have an interview with him during the week, so stay close for that. I think we are also putting a show together with David. I know you are all looking forward to that. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Take good care. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.